What is up, FloTrack? This is Johnny Pace here at Boston University with Coach John Molz, the head of cross country and distance running at BU. Coach, pleasure to meet you.
Good to meet you too, Johnny.
I figured we could take a lap on this historic track and tell me everything about BU and what you guys are up to.
Sounds great. Welcome to the fastest track in the world.
So why do you say that, the fastest track in the world?
I think just because of the performances. They back it up.
So for people who might not be familiar, give us some history on BU and this track.
Well, the history is that ever since the track was built, people have come here every year and run really fast.
Yeah.
NCAA qualifiers, world qualifiers, Olympic qualifiers, national records. Last year at the Valentine Invite, we had 52 guys break 4 minutes for the mile.
52.
7 heats deep.
Yeah.
So the 7th heat broke 4 minutes. I think we had 36 girls that broke 4:40 in the mile in that meet alone. Last year, all 16 men's qualifiers in the 5K for nationals happened right here on this track, either at our first meet or throughout the season. And so it's just become the capital for distance running for collegiate track.
So what is it? Is it the wood? Is it the angle? Is it voodoo magic? What is it?
There's probably a little bit of everything. I think there's certainly the construction being on wood, and it gives you a lot of energy return. There's been studies on that. But there's also just the mentality of when you're coming here to run fast.
Yeah.
We do our best to set up the races, to have pacemakers, rabbits, to let people know in advance, here's how the fast heats are going to go and play out.
Yep.
And when you walk in these doors, you're here to run fast. I don't think anybody walks in here looking for a tactical race or to practice their finishing kick. They're looking to PR. And so I think that's part of that voodoo magic. Maybe it's just the mentality that athletes bring.
Right. Well, I remember last year, wasn't there one meet where it was just like, I don't know, how many heats do you guys run, say, in a mile?
Valentine last year, 30 heats in the men's mile.
30 heats.
25 in the women's, I believe.
What does it take to pull that off and execute that? It's a lot of logistics.
It takes a village. It takes a lot. We work really closely with Direct Athletics, with our timing company, our whole staff going through entries, vetting the process in terms of making sure seed times are accurate. Working night and day once entries come out, or entries are given to us rather, in terms of trying to put together the best fields possible and the most appropriate for everybody. It takes people all over this campus helping us, volunteers, our own student athletes, just putting packets together, us being able to be responsive to coaches when they reach out with questions about what heats their athletes are going to be in, or if we can adjust seed times. Things just like our business office, ordering wristbands for everybody, ordering pins and bibs and all that, administrative stuff that is kind of in the back. A huge one here that we have to deal with is capacity. Big difference between hosting a cross-country meet or an outdoor track meet is you don't really have those capacity concerns. In here, you're bound to the fire code, you're bound to capacity. So we have to do things like, for our 2 big meets, have our men on one day and our women on another day, just to be able to accommodate the amount of interest in our meets. And so it takes a village to put this on. Most of all, our facilities people. We share this facility with everybody here on campus. They have to come here hours before the meet starts and flip this facility, get the nets up, get it clean, get the equipment out. They have to stay here afterwards to flip it back so that the next day this operation can be back for other people on campus to use, and so it takes a lot.
I see we have the nets up. I think there's tennis practice going on in here. What other sports?
So this is the main indoor facility at BU, and so especially during wintertime, you're going to see pretty much every sport in here at some point, other than maybe hockeys and basketballs, but you're going to see softball, and you're going to see tennis here. Quite often working out inside because it's Boston. We'll get some winter weather, and so, but also recreation. We have a lot of recreational ROTCs in here as well, so lots and lots of people use.
Can students come in here and work out?
They can.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty neat. So tell me about what we can look forward to this upcoming indoor season, some of the keystone events that you guys are going to put on.
We host six meets here at BU. Our first one is the Sharon Collier Danville season opener, and that has become the place to be for cross-country athletes coming off their season to try and run a really fast 3K, a really fast 5K. That meet is in about 3.5 weeks from now, so it'll be 2 weeks after the NCAA championships in cross country.
Quick turnaround.
Very quick turnaround, and that's where a lot of people will come and try and get those NCAA qualifying marks, particularly in the 5K. And so last year we had 3K qualifiers, we had 5K qualifiers at our home meet, our first meet of the season. So that's the big one that's gonna get things started. Last year there were 12 heats of the men's 5K, and I think 9 of the women's 5K.
Wow.
And we're running about 25 people per heat, so you're talking over 200 people just in the 5K alone for our first meet.
Okay.
And then we go on, we host a couple smaller meets that are, one's the Battle in Beantown, which is more for local colleges here.
Yeah.
We host the Scarlet and White Invite, which is a one-day meet, also kind of invited teams only.
Yeah.
And then we also host the Terrier Classic and the Valentine Invite, and those are the huge ones.
Those are the big ones, the big dogs.
Last year, the Valentine Invite had 3,800 athletes entered.
Okay.
I think 280 schools entered at least one person.
Wow.
So it's massive.
Yeah.
And that's one of those meets where day one is all of the men and day two is all of the women, because we just can't accommodate everybody on the same
Well,
day.
I can understand why. I mean, I remember coming here as a little freshman in college at UVA and just knocking a PR out of the park. It felt like I was walking. There's something about this track, so I can understand why people.
Hey, as a coach at a different school before this, I know about the magic too. This is where a lot of PRs happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of coaching and being in this role, you are 2.5 months in your role here. Can you tell me about what that experience has been like and some of the challenges and some of the opportunities you've been facing?
Absolutely. It was a great opportunity that I jumped at when it came available. I was fortunate enough to get hired here. It was challenging to start after cross country had already begun.
Yeah.
They did their preseason camp. They actually had their first meet already. So coming into a program was really tricky at that time, because at that point you don't want to just come in and change everything overnight.
Right.
Not that there's a ton that needs to be changed. I think I was left a really good program here. I'm so blessed with what the amount of talent and the hardworking individuals that are here.
Yeah.
And so it's not like we need to do a rebuild. This place is in a really good spot way before I came here. But still just getting to know the athletes and having it be a crash course basically of I need to know who you are, what you love to do, what's worked really well for you, what your history is, and just learning that stuff as quickly as possible. In addition to getting ready to put these meets on. You know, this process for me started before the formal interview. It started on the first phone call with Coach Cartwright, just kind of letting me know, hey, this is a huge part of what you do here and you need to be prepared for that. And then on the interview process, everyone I talked to mentioning what hosting these home meets looks like and how much goes into it. And so that's been since day one. I had my first meeting with staff members here about our home meets my first week on the job. And so balancing that in addition to coaching, in addition to recruiting, all that at the same time is challenging, but I'm really fortunate. Have an awesome assistant, Christian Noble, who is doing things like taking over the rabbits and pacemaking duties for our home meets so that we can ensure we have the fastest seats possible up front. So he's taking that on, talking to a lot of the elite athletes that reach out, professionals. So that's a huge part of this that he takes off my plate basically.
Yeah, well, and Christian, we were with him yesterday. I mean, he's a professional athlete in his own right.
Professional athlete.
That's got to be helpful to have those connections and relationships.
Definitely.
Top talent.
And it brings, for our team, it really helps that they get to see somebody who does this every day and is professional, seeing how he operates and how he acts. And I think it's really, really good for our teams to see that.
What are some of the values that you really want to instill in your team and live by?
We want good people. We want kind people. I truly believe that when you have a team that is cohesive, cares for each other, looks out for each other, they will perform better. I'll take that over a beautiful training log any day. And then when it comes to training, consistency and figuring out what works best for you. I think everybody has something that works best for them, and it's my job, it's the coach's job to try and help figure out what that is. It doesn't mean everybody needs to be at the same mileage. It doesn't need to be every single workout's the same. We want them working out together as often as possible, of course, but for some people, high volume, feed it to them all day long. Other people, low volume, lots of cross training. It's figuring that out and just knowing that consistency is what's going to get the job done.
Yeah, amen. Well, this is a two-part question. What is your vision for both the BU team and the BU facility and the meets that you put on?
Yeah, well, we're in Boston. There's nationally competitive teams right here, and so we're going to be a nationally competitive team as well and get ourselves in that conversation. Like I said, I inherited a great group here. We've got 3 guys who have run under 4 in the mile. We've got a few girls that are past NCAA qualifiers and just absolute workhorses that really love this sport. So from a talent perspective, and again, it's not just talent, but hardworking people that care about this, we have a really full cupboard right now. Now it's just kind of helping them get that mentality of becoming champions
Right.
and trying to win league titles instead of being top 2 or top 3. We want to start winning. Our women were 2 points out. Yeah, they're 2 points out a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
It was our lowest team score in history, but we didn't win, and we wanted to win. That was our goal going in, and that's
Right.
going to be the goal going forward. So, so that's what we're looking for, performance-wise. And I forgot the second part of your question.
What's your vision for BU and the meets you put on and the facility?
Oh, to continue setting the bar, setting the standard here. Just like the team that I was able to take over here, the home meets are a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Coach Carpenter, who was here before me, did a fantastic job bringing these to an extremely elite level while also being super accommodating. It's not just the first 3 or 4 heats that matter here.
Yeah.
Heat 28, Heat 29,
Yes.
Heat 30, we want those people setting personal bests as well, and we want them to have opportunities to race on this track.
Right.
Now, we have to work under the constraints of, again, fire code, time schedule, things like that. But we want as many people to be able to experience this as possible.
Yeah.
And so the vision is to keep setting that bar, keep accommodating as many people as we can, keep setting fields up for professional or high-level collegiate athletes to get qualifiers.
Yeah.
And just keep being the standard, the place where people want to come to race.
Well, I feel like at FloTrack we're trying to do a similar thing in our own lane, and shameless plug, but I think we will be streaming the meet December 7th BU invite. Is that right?
Yes, I've already talked to the announcer from FloTrack that's
Love
coming
it.
in, so that stuff is just always happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Phil, I believe, is the one doing it for our home meet, and he's already asking for background information on who's coming and
Love
what
it.
we can expect. So
Well, you can fit a few more people on the internet than you can in this
Exactly.
facility. So hopefully that'll help people, get an inside look at the meet and what's going on.
absolutely. I know that when we would split our squad in the past, I would always have the live stream up so I
Yeah.
could watch our athletes that were competing here if I wasn't on
Right.
the trip. And so, this is what people want to see. They want to see
Yeah.
records be broken.
Totally.
They want to see Olympic qualifying times, World Championship qualifying times. And so, you guys getting that out there,
Yeah.
super helpful in that mission.
Happy to do it. Well, Coach, it was a pleasure to meet you. We'll look forward to
Likewise.
seeing you out here this winter and this indoor season. And best of luck to the team.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out.